What's going on, everyone? Russell Westbrook. The experiment with the Los Angeles Lakers did not work at all. And going into this season, many believed that Russell Westbrook would remain on the roster. I mean, even Darvin Ham spoke so highly of Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was there at his introduction presser, all that stuff. And Darvin Ham continues to talk up Russell Westbrook and all that stuff. And then the Kyrie Irving thing happened. And now it's become turmoil. And at this point, the Lakers, no matter what, I feel, have to trade Russell Westbrook. Whether it's for Kyrie, whether it's for something else, at the end of the day, you gotta get Westbrook, I think, at this point. And it has nothing to do with Westbrook. I love Westbrook. I think a lot of people have recency bias when it comes to Russell Westbrook and forget that Russell Westbrook was like a triple-double with the Wizards, putting up, 30, 10, and 10, night in and night out. Him and Bradley Beal led a not very good Wizards team to the playoffs, all of that stuff. Like, Russell Westbrook has proven he's still that guy. I mean, even the games where he didn't have LeBron and Anthony Davis, he was putting up triple doubles. He was that guy that he had that 32-point game or whatever it was, like almost single-handedly won the game. I think Russ still has it in the tank. I just think he's in a terrible fit. I think he is in the worst possible situation he could be in for the type of player he is. And I think next season, whatever team he plays for that is not the Lakers, I really think he is going to ball. I think he is going to be fantastic, and he's going to get back to being that, historical all-star, just superstar caliber player. I just think he doesn't fit with the Lakers. But reports are coming out that Russell Westbrook wants to be traded from the Lakers. And now there's a couple things that goes into this. One is obviously the Kyrie Irving trade. Supposedly the deal is done. It's been put out there on several occasions. I mean, even Woj, Brian Windhorst have talked about they basically know what the deal is, all of that. And Kyrie Irving, I think that will ultimately be the end result. I think Kyrie Irving will be a Laker by the time the season begins. And I think Russell Westbrook will either be with the Nets or a third team. I think one way or another, this is going to happen. This is going to be the done deal. But for whatever reason, if Kyrie Irving doesn't become a Laker, Nets get cold feet, whatever, they can't agree on a deal, it falls through, anything. Because it's not official until it's official, right? We've seen lots of trades get to that point and then just completely fall apart. So if that were to happen, then I think you still have to get rid of Russell Westbrook at this point. And I just think that no matter what, I think that Russell Westbrook, the report, because we haven't heard anything that Russell Westbrook has came out and said, or he hasn't said anything publicly. Like Kyrie, we know he wants to be traded. Kevin Durant, we know he wants to be traded. We haven't heard anything about Russell Westbrook until now. And I feel like this is just a leverage play from the Lakers standpoint. And you might be thinking, how would that be a leverage play? Like, why would making a report or putting out some information that Russell Westbrook wants to be traded, how would that be a leverage play? Well, glad you asked. First off, with the Kyrie Irving trade, now you have to go to the Nets and you say, look, we have our deal that we want to give you. If you don't take it, we have no choice but to trade Russell Westbrook. If we trade Russell Westbrook, guess who has to remain a Brooklyn Nets? Kyrie Irving does. Do you really want Kyrie Irving? Because I don't believe the Nets do. I think the Lakers believe that the Nets don't want Kyrie Irving on that roster. That would be an absolute disaster. So from a leverage standpoint, if you're the Lakers, you say, look, you keep Russell Westbrook, or you trade for Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving, or you keep Kyrie Irving, you deal with him for a year, he's going to likely implode your franchise, and then we're just going to sign him next year, and we'll trade Russell Westbrook for pieces that help us contend now, and for when Kyrie Irving signs with us next season. So how do you want to play this, right? Because there are reports coming out. I made a video earlier today. I'll even link that video down in the description below. There's even a report that the big mix-up and the reason it hasn't been official is because the Lakers are not wanting to include 2 first-round picks. They only want to give up 1, which I completely understand, but I think it depends on the trade, and I think push comes to shove, the Lakers would if they had to, but everything becomes a leverage play because Lakers have other deals reported on the table, such as Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. That report keeps coming up. I mean, it's been something that has been talked about and speculated for months now, and it just keeps coming up. And guess what? If the Lakers have 2 first-round draft picks, THT, Russell Westbrook's contract, Kendrick, now whatever you need to get the deal done, and the reports that the Indiana Pacers are getting impatient and want to just offer DeAndre Ayton a contract. And if they get Ayton, guess who becomes expendable? Miles Turner. And guess who's an expiring contract that keeps the flexibility to sign Kyrie the next season? Miles Turner. So you would go get Buddy Hield, you would go get Miles Turner, and you'd still end up at the end of the season have the cap space to keep everybody if need be, depending on, what everyone demands and stuff. Not just that, but there's a report that Miles Turner would love to play for the Lakers. So again, if all these reports are true, that is huge leverage for the Lakers, because it becomes now, look, we're the only team that wants Kyrie Irving. We're only, anteing up ourselves. So look, take this deal, or we're gonna go get Miles Turner and we're gonna go get Buddy Hield, and we'll give up the first, and we'll give up whatever we have to get it done. Russell Westbrook's gonna be gone, and then there you go. Take your pick. And the Lakers, I understand not wanting to give up that other pick because they want to go get Buddy Hield. And if they can get both Buddy Hield and they can get Kyrie Irving, that is a home run. But they need that other pick to go get Buddy Hield, because you're going to have to give up a first for Buddy Hield. But if you can now have all of these reports, like, look, Russell Westbrook wants to be traded. He is demanding a trade. So now we have no choice but to trade him. Originally, we were just going to keep him. We were going to keep him and run the season. And if you wanted to trade at some point for Kyrie Irving, then yeah, maybe we do that deal. But now Russell Westbrook doesn't want to be a Laker anymore and is forcing our hand and is forcing us to trade him. So now any possibility of a Kyrie trade ever happening just completely goes out the window. So what do you want to do? What do you want to run the risk of dealing with Kyrie for another season? Do you really think that's going to happen? It just puts so much more pressure on the Brooklyn Nets to get the deal done. This is huge for the Lakers, because if this is true and Russell Westbrook does indeed want a trade, then that adds so much more leverage, because now you're the Lakers, you're like, we're trading Westbrook no matter what. So either you get rid of your Kyrie problem or you don't. What do you want to do? And now the Nets have to decide what do they want to do, and they have to decide fast, But at the end of the day, I think regardless of the situation, I think you have to trade Russ. Like, even if the Kyrie thing falls through, I think you need to explore other options. I don't think at this point you can have Russell Westbrook on your team at the start of the season. Now, Darvin Ham seems to have Westbrook as his guy. Westbrook seems to really admire Darvin Ham and really does believe in him. And they seem to have this mutual respect thing going on. But Russell Westbrook already is a bad fit, and you need to pray that he buys in if you keep him. But if he knows the organization and LeBron James do not want him, the chances of him buying in and not being a headache and not being a train wreck for the Lakers hugely goes down, right? Because now he's not, going into the season, before the Kyrie thing happened, Russell Westbrook seemed like a guy that was willing to do whatever it took to be a Laker and to make this work. He would have ran through a wall for the Lakers and for Darvin Ham. But now he knows nobody on the Lakers team wants him. Nobody in the front office wants him. So now what do? I don't want to be here. I don't want to play for a team. I'm not going to run through a wall for a team that doesn't even want me. And it just becomes a huge mess. So I think at this point, you have to make a deal, whether it's for Kyrie, whether it's for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, whether it's for something else, whatever it takes. But the issue lies, and you have to keep the flexibility to go sign Kyrie, because there is a real opportunity that LeBron just doesn't re-sign. Because August 4th is the extension for LeBron to re-sign. And if Kyrie isn't a Laker, I don't think he's going to re-sign, because he's going to want to keep that leverage. He's going to want to keep that pressure on the Lakers to sign Kyrie next season. So if you get into next season, if you end up making a deal for Russell Westbrook to where you're taking on a bunch of future salary, like say the Pelicans, or not the Pelicans, the Hornets trade. So say you do that for, let's say Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward. Problem is now you lost all of your financial flexibility to go sign Kyrie Irving. So you can't do that. So the Lakers are in a weird spot, but I think that this personally gave them so much more leverage. But that's my thoughts and opinions. So as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, yes, this is just more leverage that the Lakers have because now Russell Westbrook needs to be traded. So what do you want to do, Brooklyn? Do you want to trade or do you not? Because otherwise we're going to go over here and we're going to make this trade over here because Russ wants to be gone and we don't want that headache. If you want to keep your Kyrie headache, sure, go ahead. Do your thing. Good luck to you. We'll just sign him next season. Or do you think, no, like this is bad for the Lakers? Like now they've lost all the negotiations. Like now you have no choice but to trade both first-round draft picks. However you feel about the situation, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.